run into the kitchen and get my tinfoil and make a hat out of it.
Do you literally have a tinfoil hat?
I make them as a joke sometimes. And there's 11 in my family. I'm a twin, but I'm the only one in the family that's rhesus negative. Mm-hmm. And then she said, "Oh my God, did you just see that?" And I look at her and said, "What did you see?" And she said, "I saw a waist and legs." And I said, "Lock the door, put the key in the ignition now and lock the door."
If you like today's content, please like, subscribe, comment down below. And of course, you can find the video interview on youtube.com/paranormalpop. Welcome to this edition of Coffee and UFOs. It is quite early in the morning for myself today, and I'm making that a special exception for Jenny Sullivan, who is in Ireland right now, so about 5 hours ahead. And she is the founder of Emerald Isle Paranormal Researchers. Jen, welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for getting out of bed early.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, it's another reason to have an extra cup of coffee in the morning.
You never need a reason to have a cup of coffee. You just have it anytime you want. Even before you go to bed, you have a cup of coffee. I do.
A kindred spirit, seriously.
I know. I love my coffee. Even though I'm having a cup of tea now, I've had 2 coffees. I got to slow it down a wee bit.
I think it's genetic. I mean, my father could drink coffee at nighttime and go to bed.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
And he's a little more half Irish, so maybe there's something there. I don't know.
It's an Irish thing. We don't sleep. We go to bed drinking Guinness, probably.
Good point. Yeah, I don't drink like that. I used to be a smoker too. I quit that, so now I'm like strictly just a coffee addict. That's my thing.
That's the best one. Coffee's the best.
Yeah. Well, and a paranormal addict too, apparently, because I can't stop doing podcasts. So welcome to Coffee and UFOs again.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
And my first question for you is: have you, Jen, seen a UFO?
I think I have. The usual. I was a kid at this stage, and it was a sunny day, blue sky, no clouds, and I seen something shiny in the sky. And me being me, I come from a family of 11, and I was the different one, and I would always think outside of the box, and I'd pick up on things and so on. So I looked up to the sky and I seen something silver. I thought it could have been a plane or something like that. When I looked again, it had gone. So I'm not too sure what it was. And then I think a couple of years later, a friend of mine told me that what I saw a couple of years later in my teen years was, if I can say, aliens. There was 3 of them. Now I know it sounds, bizarre. 3 of them, and if there was 3 of them up in the sky, but they were like the shape were like smoky gray, and the shape was like Halley's Comet.
So when you say aliens, do you mean the craft was it like an alien craft, or?
I don't know, because I was explaining to a friend of mine. There was 3 of them, 2 on one side and 1 on the other side, and they kept floating in and out towards each other. A lot of people saw it because we were at my family home, and a lot of people saw it. And we were standing at the door watching it, and we had to pick up my mum from work, get everyone home safe. It was crazy. There was 3 of them, kind of 2 was on one side, 1 on the other side, and they were floating in towards each other. And then it was November, so there was no clouds in the sky. And when they had kind of met, then you'd have 2 on this side and 1 on this side, and they were floating in again towards each other. We don't know what it was. And then at one point, we were about 10 of us outside my door looking up, and one shot right down towards the hedge, flew through it and straight back up into the sky. And we literally pulled each other behind to get back into the house. We don't know what it was. We don't know. I know a friend of mine said, "Jenny, these were possibly aliens, showing themselves." So we're not too sure. We're not too sure what it was. We don't know. It's bizarre.
That is bizarre. It sounds like that sort of intersection between a consciousness or some kind of paranormal thing.
100%. 100%,
Right.
absolutely. And if I could be hypnotized or whatever, or someone could just dissect my memory and see exactly what we saw or what I saw, and
Yeah.
I noticed it first, and walking up my home garden, and then I put my hand on my friend's shoulder, and I said, "What's that in the sky?" But there was nothing for me to look up. Nothing got my attention. I just said to my friend, "What's that in the sky?" for no reason, and I saw nothing. So why I said that, I don't know. I
Did
don't
you
know.
did you get a vibe, like any kind of energy sensation from it?
Um, I know I was. Oh my goodness, I was petrified. I was afraid
Okay. Yeah.
because I was in my teen years, my early teen years, and I was always that child that, the rest of the family were normal, and I probably wasn't a little bit. And I would see things, and I was just a little different.
Well,
And
it's funny you say that because you're a little bit different. I mean, statistically, 1 out of 11, and to still be the different one, it says quite a lot about you. But you, in my mind, you're a kindred spirit. We both love coffee. We both love. Hold on, Star Wars.
I love Star Wars. I love Star
It's
Ward.
just a part of normal life for so many of us. And that's
Exactly. And
we're using the force right now.
I could hear in the background. There's 11 in my family. I'm a twin, but I'm the only one in the family that's rhesus negative. Everyone has different.
Oh,
I'm the only
interesting.
one that's rhesus negative. What? If I wasn't a twin, I'd be thinking, "Mom, are you my mom?" Because everyone has, different blood and so on, but none of them are rhesus negative. Just me.
It's interesting. Yeah, I read Nick
Mhm.
Redfern's book, Bloodline, something Bloodline. I can't remember the full title now. That goes into that, and there seem to be a number of people that have some sort of sensitivity, and they also have this rhesus bloodline. And I do
Mhm.
wonder if there's some kind of connection there, because if someone can have a psychic ability, right? That's something within our makeup. So maybe
Yes.
depending on the type of genes that you have, just like any other, kind of human trait,
Mhm.
depending on your genetics, perhaps you are stronger or lesser, or more specialized in
I
some
think I'm more
way.
specialized.
You're more specialized. That's what
That's
we'll
what I.
start calling
That's what I kept telling all of them. I'm the special one. I'm the
you.
chosen one.
I've been specialized to
I
better
have been
your life.
specialized. I'm
Yes.
special. People need my blood. I'm different, but I don't know why. And I've read up the reason, as they say, people with reason negative is part alien. And I said to one of my good friends uh, I wasn't comfortable talking about aliens,
Hmm.
because then I know then, for some reason, I don't know why, but I know then that they know I'm talking about them, and that they know I'm giving them attention, so they're going to come. And I know that sounds crazy, and I probably need more coffee. But she said basically maybe I was abducted before, that I would think that they know that I'm talking about them. And I know it sounds crazy, and I don't know.
No, I
I
understand
really don't know.
psychologically. So if it was a abduction experience, let's say, we hear about this, and it can be kind of traumatic. And like, think about just any other human experience with another human. If another human were to abduct someone or mistreat them, or
Mm.
have some kind of hold over them, even if that person is out of their life, it's that presence is still there, and
Yes,
you feel like someone's watching, or someone that you
that's
loved and
perfectly said. Yeah,
has died and passed on. Like, there's always that sense. So they may not actually be watching you every time you talk about them, but it
I
could
think
feel
yeah.
like, yeah.
That's why I say I want my tinfoil hat. I'm famous for my tinfoil hat. They all know me and run into the kitchen and get my tinfoil and make a hat out of it. I know, I do.
Do you
But
literally have a tinfoil hat?
I make them as a joke sometimes, and I have the big antenna sticking up at the top. And there's no tinfoil left in my house because I keep using them as a joke, because now it's kind
Yeah.
of like a running joke that, if someone says something to me, or they can read me, and I'll pretend to make a tinfoil hat so they cannot read me anymore. It's a long-standing joke.
Is it really a joke though?
I don't know. Probably not. I'm serious. I do.
A little bit of,
I have a,
yeah,
I have a selection of different styles and different sizes that I make.
Well, so you're sensitive to these sort of experiences. And was there anything more to that story? Was there a revisit or anything?
I remember, and I said, "Oh my goodness, y'all probably gonna think this girl is in the fields of Ireland running around with wellies on me and tinfoil hat on me." But when I was a
But you're
child,
speaking to people all over the world doing the same thing. So, yeah.
so I'm not different. I'm not different. When I was a child, I'd be afraid to look out my bedroom window and at the sky for no reason. I was that odd little child for no reason. And this is probably the first time that I've spoken about it out loud. I was afraid to look at the window and look up in case they didn't looking at me. I don't know if it's a child thing, if it was like grown up thing and scary thing and aliens or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I remember that. You're just kind of bringing memories back to me that I forgot.
And you say you don't know why. Why do you think that? Why do you think that there was no reason for that?
I don't know. I don't know. I think, when you're a child growing up and movies didn't watch many UFO movies as kids, War of the World and all of that we watched. But even before I saw any movies like that, it was just something that I didn't sit, as kids and watch UFO movies and so on. It was just something that I can't explain. Nothing happened for me to fear that looking out at nighttime. Nothing happened. It just was in me and I cannot explain it. Why? I don't know. If it was a child thing growing up and, the fear and so on, for no apparent reason. I totally forgot all about that. I did,
and
yeah.
so,
oh my God.
And was that something that faded away as time went on and came back later?
No, it always stayed. It always stayed with me. I just never talked about it as much, but it always has stayed with me. And I know some of my friends never knew this about me because it was just something we didn't have we talk about it, but not a long in-depth conversation.
So I guess you feel more comfortable talking about it now. And I would assume that's because of, your paranormal research and your podcast. By the way, where can people find your podcast?
Oh gosh, the podcast that I run in Ireland is called Shadow Whispers in the Night. That's on Facebook. And then I run the paranormal team, Emerald Isle Paranormal Researchers here in Ireland.
Gotcha.
And I love it.
Yeah, and so you're doing that, right? You're out there, you're, going into old castles and buildings, and
yes, we do.
yeah, we don't have many castles here, unfortunately. So I'd love to. And if you've been doing that for so long, inevitably, that, like you said, your family already kind of knows your interests. I think that you start becoming more comfortable with who you are. I mean, I feel that way, certainly.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's why now things are coming out. You've been doing this for years, and you're letting down that barrier that I think
so.
build up.
Yeah. I know when I first started out, I would never tell anybody what I did because they'd say, "Oh, you're crazy, and there's no such thing," and so on.
Yeah.
As I got more and more into the field, I got more comfortable doing my research and my investigation and so on, and that I know my own answers. I'm comfortable saying what I do.
Yeah.
And you will meet the people saying, "Oh, no such thing," and so on, but that's okay. I'm well used to that now.
What's your specialization? What is your focus in your research?
Oh, audio work.
EVP?
Yeah, EVPs. Yeah,
Okay.
It's my favorite thing to do.
So you go into old buildings, old places. What's your technique? Do you speak to the spirits, or how do you approach that?
So when we go into locations, we repetitively go into the same buildings because you build up a rapport, and we're doing research in these particular buildings. We get to know them, they get to know us. Like there's a particular place here in Drogheda, it's the Drogheda Museum Millmount. We're doing that location about 6 years, and it's one of my favorite locations to do. It's a museum, but it was attacked and bombed by Oliver Cromwell from the English guy, I'm going to say the English guy that attacked and the Metallo Tower. The museum used to be a place where families had lived, and it just closed down in 1985 for people living there. So now it's a museum with artifacts from everything you can think of, war memorabilia, phones, and just the place comes alive when you go into it. It's just amazing. We're learning more about it. And only in the last year that the children are beginning to come out and speak with us, because before they weren't allowed to speak to us. And now we get a lot of the children coming in, and we know the particular kids are coming to talk to us.
Wow,
so it's just constant.
Yeah, and repeatability is something that science always asks of the paranormal community, and I guess for you that is repeatability. If you're able to go back in there, yeah. Have you ever seen a ghost?
Yes, I have. I really have. I really, really have. And again, if somebody could dissect my mind's eye and just replay and see what I saw, it was a place up in the north of Ireland, and a place called Shane's Castle. And myself and my friend were late up to the location. The rest were down under the ground in the tunnels, and we were sitting in the car, and I'm looking out the window. It was about 11 o'clock at night, and there was a light on outside, and there was a solid black figure, side profile. You could see the head, the chin, the neck, the shoulders down to the waist. And he was just walking by, doing nothing. I said nothing to my friend. I said nothing because I was kind of registering what was I seeing. Mm-hmm. And then she said, "Oh my God, did you just see that?" And I look at her and said, "What did you see?" And she said, "I saw a waist and legs." And I said, "Lock the door, put the key in the ignition now and lock the door." Because I was leaning in towards her, and I kind of my eyes hurt because I was looking at my window thinking, if somebody is standing at my window looking in, I am done. I am so done. But he just walked off, and it was this, we know everybody was underneath the ground. The lights were on outside. So we know there's nobody outside, but the whole coloring of his clothing, his face is solid black. That's it. And to this day, we've seen dark shadows and things like that. But this was in your face. This is right in front of your face. It was one of those things that I hope will happen again. But if it doesn't, it's okay, because I saw one. I can say I did really see one.
Yeah, it's fascinating that she saw in particular the waist. Was it waist down?
Waist down. Yep.
Waist down. Yeah. So kind of like the torso was missing. Do we have any?
Top half.
Yeah, and so how does that work? I mean, how does she see one part and you see the other missing part?
Yeah, I don't know, because that location we used to investigate for about 6 years as well, and I don't know how. I was sitting in the car, and I know there was another car in front of us, but everything was spaced out. That we're about 15, 20 feet away from it. I don't know, could have been one of the cars that obstruct the top viewing, but everything was clear focus. And I just saw the top half, and it just walked off. I don't remember seeing legs, but my friend did.
And when she saw the legs, were they walking, or was it kind of just floating by?
I don't know. I didn't see the leg part, and I forgot to ask her that. If I just seen this thing going by. No movement of arms, nothing, just walking by.
But was it? You said it wasn't shadowy, but was it?
It was solid. You could not see through. It was solid black. Solid black. You could not see through it.
So almost like a solid silhouette or something.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. Now, I've heard descriptions, and we all have, I think, of these shadow entities that kind of have the absorption of light, in a sense, like a black hole kind of effect. Was it that?
Nothing. It was just black, just a t-shirt, just black. I have a video of one particular window in Millmount when we had the GoPro set up, and there was nobody in this particular hallway, but you have something going by, and I have it on video. I have it in the normal speed, and then we have it slowed down motion. I mean, I put it on the podcast, and I sent it on to one or two people that I know in America, and they They just said you have something there. You definitely have something. I'll send it on to you in message so you can have a look at it if you wish. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then people can find it on Facebook on your podcast.
Yes, I have it up. I have it up on Emerald Isle Paranormal Researchers page. I will refresh it again today to have a look at it.
Okay,
yeah, but
great.
It was brilliant.
Have you seen a cryptid before?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Have you heard a cryptid? Because sometimes people are looking for Bigfoot or Wendigo or whatever it might be, and they think that they hear that sound of something supernatural or
I've never had anything like it, and I know we go into forests here and whatnot. I've never heard anything like it, seen it. I probably met a few of them, human ones, but I've never seen them, never heard them. Not here in Ireland anyway. I don't know many people in Ireland that would go, looking for them.
Yeah. One of the first books I remember reading when I was young was The Hounds of Baskerville. And I'd always kind of had this dream of seeing some sort of demon spirit dog,
I have 5 dogs. My Chihuahua is one of them.
Yeah.
She's demonic sometimes. She's over there snoring. But she can be one of those devil hound dogs. She's a Chihuahua.
Yeah, I think, have you ever had a psychic experience with an animal where you kind of have a connection at all?
I think I have one of my dogs, and he just reads my mind. And I say it a million times, he reads my mind. He knows if I'm upset immediately, and he's always over with me. And I don't know what it is. And I know we did speak about it before. Yeah. My Chihuahua has me trained. She has me trained. I jump. She tells me what she wants, and I jump. So
sounds like a cat to me.
This one, Mimi's over here, one of my cats.
Okay.
But I think I have that kind of thing with Zach, one of my collies, one of my dogs, and there's 5 of them. So he's maybe it's just a dog ownership thing, and I work with animals, but it could be just I have a good bond with my dog.
Yeah. Why are you so interested in the paranormal now as an adult? When you're young, you kind of have these fascinations, and like you said before, you don't really know how all this started or why it started. But what about now? Now that you're older and you've been doing it for a while?
I think for me, it's curiosity, and to say, "Aha! I was right. I'm not crazy, and I wasn't when I was a child, and I wasn't that different child." And I'm like, "Haha! Now look, it really is real." And that's my dog snoring. Hopi. I have my Chihuahua snoring. Sorry. She's snoring. She's always snoring. I think it's just curiosity and wanting more. Nothing is enough. I want more. I've had amazing Class A EVPs, and when one was very personal, that's what got me, because I can listen to many EVPs, Class A's, and I'm like, that is crazy. I love it. When I had a personal experience that one of my close friends, and she came through, and I'm like, mic drop, I'm done, I'm out, I'm out, because it was an answer only she could have answered. It was a question only she could have answered. And we got it on the spirit box, but we didn't hear it at the time. But when I was going through audio, it came through, but it sounded as if it came through the spirit box, but we heard nothing on the night, and I got it on audio. The way these things come through is
that's interesting. Yeah, because often we hear that we don't hear the voice, but the recording device picked a voice up. But you're saying that you think it sounds like it was kind of relayed through the spirit box, but inaudible to you, and wound up on the recording device. That's interesting.
Yes. And this is all done in Lep Castle, and it was like, what, oh my God, you think because you're doing this so many years, and then you're like, oh my God, here we go again. We're starting all over again and learning again. That, now I have to dissect this and how it happened, and only she knew the answer to my question, and her answer came through It was
Yeah.
crazy. And that's when I thought to myself, oh no, I think I'm done. I think I was ready to leave the field at that stage. Because then it was real. It
Yeah.
was really real.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then it was like, I like all the EVPs I've heard before, I'm like, yes, it's really real. But when it was somebody that I really know,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of put me on another level of shock, really.
Well, that's like someone who believes in UFOs as possibly being from extraterrestrial origin, and you kind of imagine in their mind and what one would do if you saw one, and then somebody sees one and they freeze
Yeah, I
because
know.
it's like, oh my God, this actually is like happening real to me,
Yeah,
and
it's
it
really
can be
real.
yeah, it could be very overwhelming. Your first
That's
instinct
madness.
isn't to grab your phone and record it. Your first instinct is to process what's happening.
Yeah, it kind of shocked me, and it because I did believe, but this just threw me a curveball. To be honest with you, it threw me a
Mhm.
curveball, and it was like I was learning all over again. And I was like, I knew it was real, but now it's really real. And
Right.
it was,
Yeah.
it was just madness. It was crazy.
Well, and that's interesting because I mean, the speculation is that this is some form of electromagnetic energy, right? That's just being
Yeah.
manipulated somehow or another by entities in another realm, and it's they're doing something to the energy so that it gets on a device in such a way that you don't hear it. And using a secondary device to do that, that seems like it would be a lot of effort. But of course, I don't know I don't know what's real and what isn't. So I
I
guess
agree.
if it's just some sort of manipulation of energy, it's possible to just send it to one device and then kind of push it through to another. I have
Yeah,
no idea. I'm
I
gonna have to
know.
reach out to Dr. Bob Davis and ask him about that because that's a new one for me.
It, it
Um,
was, it was, it was, learning again. And I know when we asked a question, I was called a name. And so the question was from one of the guys was, can you call Jenny that name again?
mhm,
So it came through the spirit box, that name that I was
yeah.
called. And everyone's like, oh my God. And even I heard it. So when I was doing the audio work, I will hear it on the recorder, but it sounded like it came from the spirit box. And a man comes in because you have to really listen to the work. And he goes, hey, Jenny, you're a, but no one heard that. And then, but the name that I was called came out of the spirit box. So it was picked on both devices, the recorder and the spirit box, to the same answer.
Right. Well, this
So he
brings
would
it
go
back
back
to
to the drawing board.
it goes back to the consciousness um, idea that there is an interplay of consciousness and our minds and whatever the entities or the ghosts or the spirits are, and so whatever that field is, the consciousness itself can live in, and we're not aware of, um, in our prefrontal cortex. We're not there. But there's a communication going on, like antennas between all these people, and apparently devices as well. And that might also explain why you see the top part of a body and your friend sees the bottom side of the body.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's some sort of like holographic, interplay. So, do you think? I grew up on Star Wars, and you
I believe
did
so.
as well. Yep, and I was just showing you before my Yoda coaster and
I
my
love Yoda.
my Grogu baby doll, um, and so there's a part of me that still wants to believe that we can move things with our minds.
I
Do you
tried
think?
to.
Yeah, me too.
I tried to put the kettle on. Put the kettle on. I need a coffee, willing it to manifest it.
Slowly boil water or something, right?
Yes. Trying to, I
Um,
know a friend of mine, she did it before and she did a video of it. And it was like a glass and
uh-huh.
she had something paper in it. And she's a very close friend of mine, and you can see the paper moving.
I've seen this before. I've never tried it myself, and I haven't seen it in person, but I've seen it recorded on video. And whenever you see something recorded on video like that, excuse me, like that, it's hard to be 100% convinced because you're not really sure what's going on there. Are there enough controls set? Is someone manipulating it?
Yep.
faking it, to say. But you think that it's possible?
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, I've willed it to happen. I probably just don't have that strong mindset to do it. I'd be shocked if it happened.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I might get my friend to train me and tell me how to do it. And you need full concentration.
Mm-hmm.
I have the concentration span of a goldfish. So I will easily get distracted. Like someone always says to me, squirrel, where? I lose my concentration. So I don't think I'd be any good at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what Yoda's always telling Luke. Keep your mind right here, right now.
I need to be trained by the master himself because my concentration is like a labradoodle, a goldfish.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't stay too long.
So, of all the paranormal interests that you have, is there a single case or something that you find the most fascinating?
Oh my goodness. There's loads. There's loads of them. They're all jumping out of me. There's one, oh my gosh. I can't even name half of them because my mind's gone blank. The Amityville house.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm reading a lot about it's true, it's not true, and the Conjuring House, the Conjuring House. These are just things that, the Amityville house. What drove the guy crazy? What drove the guy crazy to shoot? And he was being possessed. And then they're saying it's not true.
Mm-hmm.
Why did he do it? Just little things like that can be easily worked out. But
so it's fascinating because there is an element of conventional explanation that can be entertained. So you're looking at the case and going, could it be paranormal? Could it be conventional? I think, and that's what makes it fascinating. And I think for me, the mystery behind so many of these cases and what we spend our time looking into is part of why we keep doing it. Because if
I live and breathe it.
because if the answers came easy and we knew exactly what it was, I think we would be less invested in
we'd be
research.
Finished doing what we're doing. We can hang up our EVPs, our equipments and whatnot, and then move on to something else. And we have the answers. We have heard it. We have seen it. We have proof of it. Is that not enough? But we want
Good
more.
point.
We want more because we have seen it, we have heard it, and so on. We have evidence of it, but like we still want more. What more do we want? Do you want to sit down and have a conversation with one with a cup of coffee?
Okay. You guys get along all right?
Yeah. And tell me, is there life after death? But we do know because we get intelligent responses.
Well, and you have near-death experiences that where people die on a hospital bed and recall conversations. Yeah, like Mark D'Antonio. I spoke to him recently. He was telling me a story about he heard conversations, and then he came back and tried to tell everybody, "Oh, I heard what you said," and they wouldn't believe that he heard him. He's like, but he confirmed that they actually said these things.
I love that.
But people are in a state of denial. They're like,
it's fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
They all want to go to heaven and so on. Because I know I did a podcast on paranormal and religion. And I know we were talking about it last night on another show, and it's one of my favorite subjects. But it's fear of the unknown. They don't want to know it. They're interested, but they don't want to know it. And even when we do have the answers, or some of the answers, it's still unrealistic to some, I think.
Okay, so the most important question of all, do you think dragons are real?
Yes.
Do explain.
No, I'm joking. Do I think they're real? It'd be nice if they were real. It would be nice. I like the dragon off Shrek. I love that dragon.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice if they were real, but with dinosaurs, semi-dragons, or maybe not. But I don't know. But it'd be nice if they were real. I know a few dragons, but Not the ones, the mythical ones. No.
I was just having a conversation with somebody last night, and they're convinced that it's possible that some dinosaurs, like Brontosaurus, but not quite so big, exist somewhere in South America or in Africa, because the climate was survivable, and there's this whole theory behind it, and cases where apparently locals were given like a set of different images, right? Not told anything, just said, of these images, what kind of animal have you seen? And they picked out these dinosaur, like Brontosaurus animals.
I
Now,
would love that.
this could all be just conjecture, and I don't know, how much of it's true, but there are people who really, really want to believe that dinosaurs.
I would love that to be true. You have your crocodiles, you have your tortoises, you have your birds. They all, came from that age. But dragons, Brontosaurus, it would be amazing if it was real. I would love them to be real, especially the Brontosaurus, one of my favorites. And I'd love the T-Rex to be real as well. I don't know about I think it's very frustrating.
I've not seen Jurassic Park.
I love it. I want the raptors as well. Loving the raptors. But huh?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Just the T-Rexes, which are very frustrating with this huge body and these tiny hands. It is frustrating to see them, that they cannot do anything with them. But I kind of feel bad for them. I seen on someone had a post up over in China where they were holding a baby T-Rex, and someone said, please don't let that be the next thing that comes out of China. Is like we have reborn the T-Rex. Well, once we see, I think that we will see a woolly mammoth. It could be within the next 10 years or so. I think we'll see. Yeah, totally. They're working towards it. Could be really?
Russia.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So they're looking about figuring out a way to artificially inseminate, a modern day elephant of somehow.
It can easily be done. I think it can be done. They have the DNA and they know they can do it.
Yeah. Well, I think I forget her name. It was a paleontologist, maybe 7 years ago, was able to extract soft tissue from the bone of a dinosaur.
No, are you kidding me?
Yes. So can they sequence? Is there enough DNA to sequence a full? I don't know. But
they'll find a way of doing it. They'll find a way of doing it.
Yeah. No, I think we'll definitely get something like Jurassic Park, where they splice in missing components of the gene sequence, right? I don't know about it's going to be from a frog or not, but whatever it is, a chicken, yeah, and I think that it's not impossible in our lifetime that someone will clone a dinosaur or a woolly mammoth.
My cat, Toby. Oh my God, they're like children. I'm up with Toby.
That's all right. So where can people find out more about you again?
Oh, Emerald Isle Paranormal Researchers on Facebook. Shadow Whispers in the Night vodcast on Facebook, and I've just have Shadow Whispers in the Night on Instagram.
Okay, great. If you can leave us with one thought, what would it be?
You want to get inside my mind? It's screaming. I don't. Really? Gosh, I've never been asked that question before.
You want to just like scream into the camera?
Can I? One thought. Oh my goodness. Gosh, I'm kind of going through my files in my head, what I can say and what I can't say. And my thoughts. Gosh, just about the paranormal, just, work hard at it and research. And I know some people say, you go to the same location all the time. Is it not boring? No, research the locations and get amazing answers.
All right, cheers. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you so much, Alan. Thanks a million.
All right. And thank you for joining us for this brew of strangeness. If you like today's content, please like, subscribe, comment down below, and share. And I will see you on the Inverted Upside Down.